All right, we are set to go. Thank you everyone for joining. My name is Joe Cade. I'm a project delivery manager in the operations office and also help with field communication. This is the second Monday of the month field leadership call where we try to cover a number of topics off the bat and then give you an opportunity to ask questions. And also, if you don't want to ask it in this forum, you can certainly ask it in the near future. I'm going to take you through these slides as helpful illustrations. Can somebody give me a thumbs up that you see the slides, first aid kit and fire extinguishers? Thank you. So we had a number of vehicles ordered at the exact same time. A number of those vehicles shipped out. There were times we didn't have all the first aid kits we needed, all the fire extinguishers that we needed, one or the other. I want to make sure that you know the resources that you have. First aid kits come from the operations office, Leitis, just like when he sends a uniform out to your site, he will do that with first aid kits. You want to copy Leitis and Ray as well to make sure that they're both aware that you're making this order. Cannot ship fire extinguishers to projects. You know, anytime you go to the mail, but most post office, you've got a big box. They're going to ask you what's inside that. We cannot ship those, but you can get local resources. It's important to get that local resource anyway because they check it on a annual basis. You want your people checking it on a monthly basis and signing it off, but that local company will do that on an annual basis. If you're new in the field, new in field leadership, you're wondering how you can do that, what resources we have, the way to Google that. Let's get you in touch with senior FOMs. So just reach out to me. We'll make sure that we do that. So we just did inspections. We thank you for a number of your projects having people in that first 3 business day window. We appreciate the honesty in that filling out the form that you're saying, I don't have a first aid kit, rather than just saying, yep, done, and moving on. But if we do have vehicles that don't have one or the other, we want to go ahead and address that as quickly as possible. We do have vehicles that have unassigned drivers that we're noticing. If you have any questions about that, we should have a fob for every tech, every driver, really. That driver should be touching that fob to the connector in the vehicle, which then connects them, makes sure that a driver is assigned in the system. We want you checking in the system to see if your drivers are assigned. If there's anyone in the project that's driving a vehicle, you see that something's not right with it. Marie Wilson is an excellent resource. She's helped build the system, helped learn the system, and you can ask her any question and she can get back to you on how to do that. I want to make sure that you copy me on that as well, Joe Kate, so that I can help document those questions. Marie, do you want to say anything else about unassigned drivers? I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. No, just basically if you guys will check and make sure that you don't have or don't have any unassigned drivers in Geotab. And if you do, let me know. It could be as simple as changing out a fob. That you guys just need to give me a new fob number and then they'll be good to go.
Yeah, we don't want to be shy if you're out of fobs. If you have some kind of issue with your fob, making sure that you reach out to us and we get that out there to you. Smoking in the company vehicle. This is a serious issue. The value of that truck, not only for the technician driving it, if you have to switch vehicles, you have to ship that vehicle to another project. Having to sit in that vehicle, drive around in that vehicle is a serious issue. And then when we have to resell the vehicle, it is a serious issue that drops in value. So if you just consider how you feel about the things that you really treasure in your life, in your home, in your apartment, in your vehicle, in your book bag, whatever. Somebody just stepping on it, or dropping it in a pool, doing whatever, some preventable thing that harms something that is of great value to you. Smoking in the UPA vehicle is completely preventable and a very serious problem for our company. Did you say you want to speak to it? Oh, I got you. Yeah. Um, Yeah, and it's completely against company policy. It's not really a question. It's not really could I do this or not do this? We do not want smoking in UPA vehicles, and we want you re-emphasizing that in the huddle. Davin and Angela, I see your hands raised. Let's start with Angela.
To that note, Joe, you also need to remind them about vaping is the same. Some people think this is just cigarettes, but vaping is the same. And I find that when I travel to projects, I have to get on to multiple employees for doing just that. Vaping is a part of our policy as well.
Thank you, Angela. I appreciate that. Davin.
So, Joe, good morning. My question, I have a 2022 Nissan Frontier that has a tracking device, but no scanner for the fob. Did we figure out what is the issue with those? Because I think when I received that truck, I was told that those fobs were burning up when they were installed in those Nissans.
So I think if you write Marie, Jeff, and CJ, and give them the exact details of the vehicle, they can help you sort that out. I think that's always a good policy.
No, okay.
So no smoking, no vaping in the UPA vehicle. It's as clear as can be, and just needs to be restated because it matters a great deal to us. Communication for projects that use electric safety gloves. We sent this out, believe it was last week. It went only to the projects that deal with electric safety gloves. So when I asked Jennifer, is there anything that you want me to say on the call today? She said, just please make sure that if anyone has any questions, please reach out to me. When I sent that email, it was just myself and the 2-line and Jennifer, so that you can reply all so that she gets it. We don't all get messages with your question, but the person that should get that message will get it. So the theme that I'm trying to get across the board is don't be shy with these questions. We know we have a number of new leaders that have stepped up from installer position, supervisor position, have stepped up from supervisor to FOM, have been hired as an FOM into our company. There's a number of policies, a number of things you have to learn. Don't be shy asking that question. We'll be glad to help you. This is next one is a unique issue that we want to make sure that we get exactly right. There are employees in our company that use a needle, and apologize, needle's not the exact right word, but they use a needle for medical purposes every day, periodically throughout the day for whatever reason. We want to make sure that you say to your huddle that they do not throw that needle in the normal trash can, that they go to Amazon, get a personal sharps container. It's $5, $10. Keep that on them and use that sharps container to make sure that we don't have any kind of biohazard issue in our normal UPA trash. Make sure that you emphasize that in the huddle. Jeff Hooper said that I want to make sure that you do a monthly testing of your AED. It's got a pamphlet inside that tells you exactly how to test it. Not only is it important to make sure it works, it's also part of our warranty that the defibrillator company offers us. They can tell how many times we test it, and we want to make sure that we are doing that on a monthly basis. You want to just set a calendar reminder so that you make sure that you do that. And if you are asking, well, I'm not sure we have a defibrillator on our site, or I'm not sure where it is, that is a bigger question. Make sure that if if you don't know or you don't have one, or there's some sort of exception for whatever reason, and you have questions about that, please reach out to me. We'll make sure that we get you the right resource. This is a recap from something that we said last month, a new on-site direction for recruiting. If you want to move forward with an applicant, we want to make sure that you give the applicant the on-site tablet computer to complete that job application link, that you capture the 2 forms of ID with that, and that you text or email recruiting with the confirmation that you want to move forward. The significance here is that you're not sending that person home and saying, man, I really hope that you fill this out. Really hope that you follow this link on your own time with your own interest. Make sure that you do that. Getting them to do that on the spot is critically important. We want to your success, to recruiting success, whoever that might be. Jeff, I see your hand raised. I'm going to go backwards and call on you in case you had something for me.
Yeah, just 2 quick things, Joe. On the defibrillator AED, Marie, can we put that on the Fleet IO, same as a fire extinguisher and a first aid kit, where the person, if they have an AED in their vehicle, they can take a picture of that as well for that? And then just the second thing, going back on the tobacco use, we've noticed some spit bottles, so to speak, in the trucks and in back pockets and in training rooms of people using tobacco products. So I don't know if that's going to be allowed or not, but we just noticed an uptick because those spit bottles, then becomes a hazard that they could fall out in the floor and roll up under the brake. Just want to give you a heads up on that. Thank you, Joe.
Appreciate it, Jeff. Corporate care is something we mention each time because it's important to us. We had 2 instances of field leaders reaching out to Angela and myself. Angela Henson's director of HR, and I help with corporate care as well and communication. Joe Kate. So if you have something that's going on with a tech in the field, you feel like we should reach out to them. Not talking about coaching them and according to the job, talking about just talking to them, what's going on in your life, the struggle that you've got, struggle going on in your family. Whatever that, and it could be good news. I want to celebrate that person. Make sure that you reach out to us. We have all kinds of contact information according to the form that they fill out when they're hired. But there are times when that doesn't work out, whatever contact we have. Just make sure you tell us and we'll give it a shot and we'll see if they respond to us so that we can provide that care to those individuals. Chris Basso is new director of training, and he and I worked on a slide for him to speak, but for some reason it didn't save. Chris, I'm sorry about that. So if you can speak to what you are currently doing and what you're about to do in June. Not sure what's going on with Chris, but Chris is going to sites project.
Can you hear me?
There you go. He was muted.
Yeah, I can now. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. So 5 through 9 June, we are holding our first supervisor leadership course and career at the corporate office. 10 individuals, all have been identified, notified, and have verified that they will attend. Chris Cyrils, senior FOM, has blessed off, as well as Aaron and the leadership. And it'll be a 5-day travel Monday, travel Friday, 3 days in between, understanding of UPA expectations of supervisors, bringing in personnel to discuss certain key elements of being a supervisor and the tools that we use properly by supervisors and how they should be used. And that's really about it. So it's a very hot topic for Todd Stone. So it's a hot topic for us, and we want to make sure that we put on the best training we can to help everyone improve and understand the direction that we want to go with UPA. There will be some things given out. I'll let all that ride until those 10 people get here. But it's also an opportunity to start appreciating training and then having the supervisors stand apart in their appearance as well as the items they have to operate. Joe, you want me to add anything else? If not, I'm done.
I appreciate that. You're going to see a number of things from Chris regarding training, updated PowerPoints for how we complete installations, everything from A to Z, pulling up, completing the installation, doing survey work, whatever that may be. So when you hear from Chris, it's all about training. It's all about helping you, equipping you, whether he's coming to your work site or whether he's inviting you to come to the Greer operations office. It's part of a greater emphasis on supervisors and field leadership that we are taking, involving you in the promising things and being elevated to that position. And we'll want to continue to do that. I want to talk about the cell phone vortex that can happen very quickly in your life in the field. Tech drops their phone, smashes their phone. They got to have their phone in order to work. If you have not sent a roster to Dolores, updating her about that roster, and you have a phone in your desk that she has deactivated, and you hand that deactivated phone to the tech and say, all right, go on, head on out. They cannot do that work. So we want to do everything possible by putting a case in order to stop the damage of those phones. But we know that you're out there in a number of different ways and things that can happen to them. But action you can take to be proactive. A Monday roster to Dolores and Brooks to help them update the Verizon roster. A notice to Dolores and Brooks that you are switching a phone between two people so that they can make sure that it's activated. And then that activation step by Dolores and Brooks to make sure that that phone is ready to go. We are not, if you don't do steps 2 and 3, when step 1 happens, you're going down a rabbit hole and you're going to be chasing that. And then that tech's not out there installing. So we want to make sure that you do those proactive steps in order to prevent a serious loss in productivity. So that is everything on the list. I want to take a quick turn through our leadership and then open it up to questions. Senior leadership at the operations office. Do you have anything that you want to say? Okay. Butler Road, data department, anything that you want to share with the field? Okay. Anyone, senior FOMs, on the phone or in the building?
Hey, Joe, it's Alan. I just wanted to touch base on some things about the phone. Always, we want to be mindful of when we're driving, staying off of the phones. But then that also comes into play when we're going from job to job. If we're walking from house to house, pay attention to the address that you're going to and don't be looking at the phone. We're going to create issues, possible trips, slips and falls. So just keep your head up, guys.
Okay. Anyone that Angela, HR, anything?
No, I'm good, go. Thanks.
All right. So I'll open it up to questions. If any field leader has a question that you think the entire field should hear, you'll also have the chance to just email me from that calendar invite if you like. All right. Sounds good. Fire extinguishers, first aid kits, make sure that we are assigning our vehicles, make sure we're not smoking in the vehicle. Check that electric glove email, look back if you make sure you have any questions. If you have people that have give themselves a shot, make sure they have the shot container. Test your AED. If you get them to fill out as much as they can in recruiting, let us know if there's an issue that we need to know about with corporate care. We thank you so much for what you do for us in the field. We hope you have a great day, have a great week.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
I just thought of something. This is Ed. in corporate. I had a project contact me the other day, and they believed that their forklift had not been inspected as long as they could remember. And we've touched base on this in some of the previous corporate trainings in Greenville, but we need to be have a preventive maintenance inspection done on our forklifts at least every 6 months, or unless you, or more often, if you notice that there's an issue, a leak, a problem. So everybody should just be reminded that if you have a forklift on your project, that you need to set a reminder for yourself also, that you contact either us to set it up or contact a local forklift service provider and have them come in and do a preventive maintenance.
Okay, and when you say us, that's Ed Schwalbeck, that's Meg
Ed,
Fleming,
Amanda, Meg,
and
one of
Amanda
us can
Thomas.
help set that up if necessary, but in many cases, you can just contact a local forklift service provider and they'll come out, do an oil change, and just do a once over on the forklift.
Appreciate that, Ed. I'm gonna stop the recording. I'll send this out. Everyone should have it, and hope you have a great week.
Thanks, Joe.